It's been a while, but we are back. And I gotta tell you, this feels great. Some of the stuff in the back, don't mind that. It'll get tidied up in a bit. I just wanted to make a video because it's been a while and I love doing these. So, we finally got a bunch of stuff we wanted to get done. Well, done. First and foremost was the truck. Truck's fixed. Thank goodness. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Then next up was going to be the PC. Took a little longer than usual, but it's working. And to top all that off, I'm like, finally, feels great. There's no way to make this better. Oops, the lighting. But yeah, we got Switch 2. And honestly, I've been enjoying the hell out of this system. I understand that there are people who are going to not be okay with some stuff like the 450 price or the $80 Mario Kart, which is the only Switch game I have right now, or Switch 2 game I should say right now that I have. But honestly, I've been having fun with this. I love the graphics that got updated throughout the Switch 1 games. Not all of them. There was like one or two that looked the same, if not worse, which is a downfall. But if you're someone who really wants to get the Switch 2 because you saw like DK Bonanza, Mario Kart World, Pokemon Legends ZA, even though there's a Switch 1 version of it, I highly recommend it. And right here, actually, is the system itself. And this thing is huge. Okay? I remember back when I did a TikTok showing the George universe. But no, I remember on TikTok I made a video back in my old place saying that I was going to be streaming for a week, for like a birthday stream week and all. And I remember holding the Switch 1 in my hands and I'm like, the Switch 2 has to be bigger. And big it was. When I picked it up, I was like, whoa. This is almost, not obviously not as tall or wide, but big enough to where it's like I'm holding a mini iPad. Um, I know the setup will be better, but right now you can actually do quite a bit of things. And ooh, a friend's playing. This is all happening on the go. Oops, no, not that. Okay, it's just my cousin playing Legend of Zelda. There's a lot of cool stuff on here that I do like. I know, again, it's not everyone's cup of tea because they want everything to be perfect or just want to hate just to hate. I'm looking at you, internet community. But overall, it's a real fun console. It's easy to hold on to. I know a big question that people have is the battery life, and yeah, it is a small battery life, very short one. But if you're playing on the TV, like how I'm always gonna just play on the TV, it's not gonna be anything concerning. Um, but all around, I just think that it's a very good console, and I've enjoyed playing it. I keep saying it over and over again, but it's true. You know, it's I understand that there are people who don't want it for like one reason or another. Um, but if you're someone who wants to give it a try, just give it a try. I mean, worst comes to worst, you don't like it and you take it back. Or if you know someone who wants one, like a family member or whatever, you can make a deal with them or just give it to them. It's completely up to you. Pretty much, don't let anyone judge what you're spending, as long as, of course, you're taking care of other stuff as well. You know, if you're someone who's saying screw the bills and get stuff like this, then maybe you have to get that looked at. But it's very fun to hold on to, and I love the Joy-Con setup where you just gotta push this back button and then you get the Joy-Con, and there's like mouse mini games or mouse games coming up. I think down here is the mouse sensor, which is really interesting. It's kind of hard to tell with the lighting. Maybe that's something I'll look into next. Easily magnetics on, so you don't have to worry about like Joy-Con issues that the Switch 1 had. Yeah, I heard there are rumors that the drift still exists, and if that is the case, that's a bummer, but we can only wait till someone actually played it for long enough to where they experience a drift issue. But one thing I will always praise Nintendo about is, especially nowadays, you can use controllers from older consoles onto the Switch 2 or onto the next gen consoles. Like for Nintendo, for the Switch 2, for example, I can play Switch 1 Pro controllers and Joy-Cons on the system, which I 100% agree on because, for one, $89 is ridiculous. That's one thing that I have to knock Nintendo for, is the pricing for the accessories. But we'll get more to that in a second. But for the purpose of just the system, I love the fact that it is backwards compatible with the Pro controllers, the Joy-Cons. It also supports backwards compatibility with most Switch 1 titles. Now, there's some that don't qualify, so Nintendo Labo fans, I am so sorry. But you're not getting anything from Nintendo Switch 2. Maybe they do a Switch 2 version of Labo, but I don't know. Maybe an update happens later on. I'm not quite sure. I know this also messes with some people with the Switch 2, and that is the fact that YouTube is not on the Switch 2 yet. Like, you can download, like, if you transfer your data from the Switch 1 to Switch 2, which I did, YouTube showed up on the Switch 2. But if you try to select it, a message pops up saying that it's not compatible. Let me try to find it real quick. Alright, so here with YouTube, you select it, and an error message pops up. They did the same thing with the Switch 1, where YouTube wasn't compatible at launch, but then through an update, it eventually became an add-on, or it became available, I should say, for the system, so you'll be fine there. And out of everything, the only other problem I have with the Switch 2 is the camera. The little camera accessory is not worth it. It is not good at all. Like, the whole game chat thing is interesting, but if anyone knows how to run Discord, or has a Discord or a server or anything like that, hint to go to my Discord, you would know how everything works, and that you can do everything on Discord while you're playing. Now, I mentioned in my community when the PC issues first started, the second round of it, that is, I had said that I was going to be playing a bunch of Mario Party games. And I technically wasn't wrong. I went to a different server, though, to do so. I went on the Party Crashers Discord server and played there with Mario Party, mainly Jamboree. We tried Superstars, but I think everyone else had Switch 2s, and at the time I had the Switch 1, so we couldn't really play. It was really weird. Maybe I'll try it again with Switch 2 players, or like just exclusively Switch 2 players, and maybe it'll work there, but I don't know. And quite honestly, like, I've met quite a bit of cool people. They all have different Mario Party strategies, but I just wanted to mention that like, I was technically true to my word. It's just it wasn't on my server; it was on someone else's. But that it plays all of those on the Switch 2, obviously, and what I like about it. One other thing about the camera and the chat room. For the the Switch 2, everything basically acts like Discord, and the gameplay feedback, where the game, like when you can watch someone else's game, it's not good. It's very bad frames. Same with the face cam. Like the Piranha Plant looks cute, but if I were to get one, I would get it as a collectible. I would not be using it because it's not good at all. Like my face cam right now is a better face cam than that. And actually, what's cool is there you can use your own face cam, like the one I'm using up here. Hook it to your Switch 2, and you can do the video chat that way. So it doesn't look bad. But like I said, I wouldn't do it. Discord exists. But you know, if you're someone who wants to at least try it, there you go. There you go. It will require a subscription, which I think is a little stupid, but that's just Nintendo being Nintendo at that point. But it's still a very exciting thing to see, exciting stuff to play. One other thing that I like about the Switch 2, and then we'll wrap it up with what I think overall, even though I probably said it a bunch of times already. The Switch 2 and the Nintendo Switch Online features, the ones where you can play the classic games, there is an option for CRT mode, and I love it. There's a CRT mode to make it look like you're playing on a CRT TV. So you can have that old school look. And for the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games, you could play it to where it looks like it's a smaller screen, kind of like how you were playing on the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. Change the filters to where you have the original Game Boy, the Pocket, or the color backgrounds, and so you get that nasty green or like the colorfulness. You know, all around it was just a very, very cool thing that they added. I know people are going to be upset because it's Switch 2 exclusive, but that's just how they try to advertise people into getting the next systems. Same thing with the GameCube, where there were people that were looking at this and going, okay, GameCube's coming to Switch Online, but it's only for the 2. And then, of course, people get upset about it because now they have to pay a bunch of money to do that. And also, Chibi Robo looks cool, okay? I played a bit of it. I liked it. I never finished it. And, of course, you can't really get it now because it's very rare to find. And if you do find one, it's stupid expensive. Like, I know my friend has one that he's trying to sell, and it's like $270, $290, something like that. But that's just the prices there. So now the fact that it's going to be on the Switch Online, I think overall that's going to be really, really cool. And makes it more easier for players to play. And before anyone says anything, because I see these comments all the time about what games they should add to the Switch Online, Luigi's Mansion, Mario Sunshine, Pokemon Colosseum, and XD, they will be there. You just gotta be patient. I can't tell you the one thing, maybe I should do that as a separate video on like things that the online community annoy me on. Hey, that could be something. That could be a fun video. So I don't know. We'll see if I want to do that or not. But I just wanted to talk about my thoughts of the Switch 2. Overall, I think it's worth it. If you're able to get the doubloons, or even if you do like a payment plan, because I know those are a thing too, I would say go for it. And I understand the game's going to cost a little more, but I think at the end of the day, it's worth it. And also considering that Xbox and PlayStation games are also going for about $70 to $90, it makes sense that Nintendo had to go up there as well. But overall, I still recommend it. Just give it a go, or do what I did and test it. Play at a friend's house and see how it looked there. And then if you like it, like I did, I eventually got one. That's all I'm going to talk about. It's great to be back. You guys have a good one.